Hi, I'm Johnny West, founder of OpenOil, and this is my pitch video for the Shuttle Foundation Fellowships. I'd like to use a fellowship to explore open source and big data techniques and apply them to the world's extractive industries and really redefine what we mean by transparency. And out of that, to eliminate rent in the long term and super profits from the big oil and gas and mining companies and transfer them to the countries and societies where those resources are produced, where they belong, to get a much better understanding of the full cost, environmental and social, of those activities and a real cost-benefit analysis for the people involved in each case, and to reduce volatility in the crazy cycles in the commodity markets we see, which affect billions of people around the world in a very real way. Now, this is a big data issue because we're at an inflection point in governance and transparency around extractive industries. The movement has achieved a lot of success in the last 20 years in putting the issue on the table, in making it a legitimate matter of public debate pretty much everywhere in the world, and through mechanisms like EITI in nodding at the idea that there should be some data sets that are published for the public to make use of. But so far that hasn't added up to the ability to create public understanding of the extractive industries in a way which is systematic, which understands all of the cogs and wheels in and around the mines and the oil wells through to the downstream markets. And that's about to change because of new legislation in the States and in Europe, which within the next 12 to 24 months will increase the amount of financial information available by an order of dimension. And also other emerging norms, such as more countries publishing the contracts they sign with those companies. At OpenOil, we've made a start with some of this stuff, and perhaps I'd just talk a little bit to a project we've done around oil contracts, where you've got the contracts there now from 7 countries and 200 or 300 contracts. But the next question is, who's going to be able to understand anything in them? So we borrowed a technique from the open source world, the book Sprint, and got a dozen experts into a room and wrote the book in 5 days. And it's the first book really designed for the non-expert to be able to pick up a contract and read and understand it. And we've had a very enthusiastic response from people in over 30 countries to this. And this is really just a beginning. If we can do it for oil, we can do it for mining. We can do it for gas. We can do it by country. We can do it across languages. The number of people who understand contracts, just as one example, in many countries in the global south, I'm very confident, having spent a long time talking to those people, it's less than 5 in one country. Those contracts are systematically kept away even from the main channels of government. The finance minister in 2 countries that I know doesn't have access to the oil contracts. So let's run textual analysis on it. But the next stage is, why not financial modelling? We've got the contracts, we've got the fiscal terms. Let's create an open source community of financial modelling around those contracts. Publish some analysis and also the spreadsheets with our functions and the underlying assumptions we make about investment and operating costs. Anybody else got better data? They can contribute it, and we get the virtuous circle of open source. Geospatial mapping. Add all of these issues together, beneficial ownership, who really owns companies. We can put a gold mine in Tanzania into OpenStreetMaps, find the 15 towns and villages around that gold mine with their 73,000 people, find the company that is holding that license in Dar es Salaam, the parent companies in the UK and Britain, and the shareholders who could be everywhere around the world. We can do that now in a spotty and expensive fashion. In 1 to 2 years' time, we'll be able to do it with low digital transaction costs. But the question is, who's going to really add value on the metadata and create the real understanding from this flood of information? That's what we'd like to do at OpenOil, and that's why I'm applying for a fellowship. Thanks very much.